Emma had always known where she stood in her family. As the only daughter born to a mother who desperately wanted boys, she had learned early to navigate the complex waters of feeling like an afterthought. Her childhood had been marked by her older brother's persistent bullying about her asthma and autism spectrum disorder, wounds that had never fully healed even into adulthood. Now, at 29, Emma stood in her parents' living room, her husband Marcus protectively by her side, watching as her sister-in-law's face transformed from confusion to rage at the news of their twins. Twins! Vanessa spat the word like it was poison. You're having the first grandchildren? And twins at that? Her voice rose with each word, hands clenching and unclenching at her sides. Emma instinctively placed a hand over her stomach, as if to shield the precious lives growing within from the vitriol being hurled their way. She and Marcus had grown close to his family, finding there the acceptance and love that had often been missing in her own childhood home. But family obligations had brought them here today, to share what should have been joyous news. We've been trying for 4 years, Vanessa continued, her voice taking on a hysterical edge. 4 years! It was supposed to be me! I was supposed to give your parents their first grandchild. The room fell uncomfortably silent. Emma's father shifted awkwardly while her mother stared at the floor. Her brother Thomas stood behind his wife, his childhood contempt for Emma still evident in his eyes. I'm sorry you're struggling, Emma said softly, genuinely meaning it despite everything. But these babies are a blessing to us. A blessing? Vanessa screamed, grabbing a decorative vase from the side table and hurling it against the wall. Everything always comes easy to the unwanted girl, doesn't it? You weren't even supposed to be here. You weren't wanted. Marcus stepped forward, his jaw tight with barely controlled anger. That's enough, he said firmly. But Vanessa wasn't finished. Her face contorted with spite as she turned to Marcus, spewing a racial slur that seemed to suck all the oxygen from the room. Something in Emma snapped. Before she even realized what was happening, her fist connected with Vanessa's face with a sickening crack. Pain shot through her knuckles, but the rage rushing through her veins dulled the sensation. Emma! Her father cried, rushing forward to pull her back while Marcus wrapped his arms around her, guiding her away. Vanessa collapsed into theatrical sobs, blood trickling from her nose. You saw it. She attacked me. She's violent. She shouldn't be allowed to have children. Emma trembled in Marcus's embrace, tears streaming down her face as the weight of what had just happened settled on her shoulders. You should have been the bigger person, her mother whispered later, unable to meet Emma's eyes. As always, Emma felt the familiar sting of her mother's dismissal of her feelings. Thomas pointed a finger at his sister, his voice cold with malice. I'm pressing charges. You'll see how fit the courts think you are to be a mother after this. The drive home was silent, Emma's thoughts spiraling with fear about losing the twins she already loved fiercely. Marcus reached over to hold her hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. You were defending us, me and our babies, he said softly. You're not violent, Emma. You're a mama bear protecting her cubs and her mate. Don't let them make you doubt yourself. Emma looked at her husband, this man who had shown her what unconditional love felt like, and tried to believe him. But the specter of her brother's threat loomed large, feeding the insecurities planted in childhood that perhaps she really was unworthy, unwanted, undeserving. As they pulled into their driveway, she placed both hands on her still flat stomach. I'll fight for you, she whispered to her unborn children. I promise. What would you do in Emma's position? Was she justified in physically defending her husband against racist attacks? Or should she have found another way to handle the situation? Do you think her brother's threat about pressing charges has any real merit? Have you ever found yourself protecting someone you love in a way that surprised even yourself? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below,